I don't know if it's the lighting of your room or whatever, but you're looking more tan. You going to some tanning salons recently? Getting some spray tan, maybe?
Of course. It's the next level of my douchiness.
That's true. That is true.
Who is your daddy? I am your father.
You fathers will understand.
My father taught me many things.
I got an idea. How about you all sit there quietly while I make dad noises?
You know, it's been kind of nice. We haven't had to talk to each other in almost a month now. You know, it's been a nice break.
Yeah, you can try to act like you don't miss me, but you do.
It's true.
I mean, I'm really like orange right now.
Yeah.
It's definitely the lighting.
It's a combination of your lighting and the contrast when I talk and it switches back to me and how pale and pasty I am. And then it switches to you and your skin just looks so alive, you know, so young.
But the thing is like, okay, I have everything off except the TV back there.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing reflecting is the monitor, which is what I always use for the lighting. It's usually not like this. It's because I changed the background. No, I didn't. It's the same background. I don't know. Whatever. It's not that important.
Yeah, now you look red.
Yeah, it's The Witcher. Geralt is the background I'm using on my computer.
Nice. The Witcher 4, will they ever make it?
I hope.
And will it feature Geralt or will it feature Ciri or some other character?
I mean, I like Geralt, but I wouldn't cry if they were like, hey, we're going to move forward with the Witcher franchise, but it's not going to have Geralt. Like, his story is done.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what The Witcher 3 was, essentially.
Right.
I'd be okay with that. Sorry, I've got to adjust my stent. So there's going to be some awkward moments.
It's all right. Just as long as you announce it in detail to everyone.
I am moving the wire that's currently in my penis.
You poor man with the kidney stone, right?
It's gone now, but
okay.
I don't know why. They didn't explain it to me because I was knocked out. They explained it to Megan, but they put a new stent in, and then they have it where the actual wire is coming out of my area.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like wrapped around, and so I've accidentally pulled on it a few times. So that's not okay. Like, I'm not okay.
I hate to break this to you. They actually didn't need to do that. That was just them and Megan messing with you.
Probably. She was like, hey, can we prolong this?
Yeah, can we leave it in there because it's funny?
Because I hate him.
Watching him limp around.
Let me tell you what he did to me in 2018. And the doctor's like...
He's like, all right, we're leaving it in.
We're going to do some extra stuff for him. Because this guy is a grade A douchebag.
Well, we are finally having our first Fathers of the Grind episode of 2019. I'm excited to finally talk video games. There's tons of stuff that I've been playing. Not a lot that I've actually completed, but I tried out a whole bunch of games. Once Game of the Year stuff is over, I just kind of felt free to dabble a little bit, to play some stuff I bought on sale or stuff maybe that you bought that I had downloaded but hadn't really tried. So I figure what we could do here is, instead of we each take turns going through a huge list. Let's just go back and forth until we kind of run out of games to share about what we're playing. If you want to talk about it, great. If you want to just mention that you've played it but don't have much to say, that's fine too. I've got a ton on my list, but I'll probably only highlight 3 or 4 that I think are worth discussing that we haven't talked about before. So I'll start with you. Why don't you tell us something that you've been playing that you want to talk about? It's been probably 3 weeks since we chatted, now that we're towards the end of January. So what kind of stuff have you been playing that's noteworthy? Okay,
I'll start with like what I finished, and I'll just start, and obviously it's on your notes too, so we'll talk about it. We finally finished A Way Out, which I feel like we talked about that on maybe our last show.
No, we didn't. Nope. We had recorded our final Game of the Year episode before we finished Finding a Way Out.
Okay, so then we just posted about it. Okay, so we both finished A Way Out. We finally connected, and we were able to finish that game. We won't talk about it forever because we've talked about that game throughout 2018 a lot. But I will say the main reason I wanted to finish it is because I wanted to see what everybody was talking about as far as endings go. I would say the game is a good co-op experience. As far as how they use the co-op, and we're not going to go into
It's
that.
creative, right? We talked about
Yeah.
this in the Game of the Year discussions. It was
It's
one of the
very
more
creative. There
games.
are some things where it's like, come on, we get what you're going for, but you did not need the two of us to lift that piece of wood when we could both go underneath it.
Yeah.
That type of stuff. But overall, I thought the experience was really good. It's definitely like I would classify it as like a B movie.
Yeah.
And you pay that. Like, I think the game when it released came out at $30, and you could buy one copy and two people could play.
Yeah.
So
and now it's even cheaper on multiple sales that have come and gone. Yeah.
So you're not getting a $60 quality AAA experience here, but I will say for the $30, it's definitely worth it. And obviously it's cheaper now on sales and stuff like that. It's worth it. It's worth the playthrough. Did the ending pay off for me personally? Yeah, there's some moments where I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah. Some of it was pretty predictable. Like,
we called it. We won't say what the twist is, but both of us, in a joking way, but kind of just predicting the ending. Right there in chapter 1, you and I both thought, okay, we think this is going to be the twist. And we were right, but it wasn't bad. I thought it was pretty well done.
Yeah.
But I'm with you. It felt like watching a B movie, and but one that like you sneakily enjoy more than you should, or more than critics tell you should, I guess.
Yeah.
So I did enjoy it. I thought it was fun. I liked the way that all the co-op stuff at the end turns into something a little bit different. I just thought that was really, really interesting. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my time with it. Definitely worth the $30, if not much less than that if you find it on sale. And I don't know about playing with strangers, although I did enjoy playing it with somebody who I was able to chat with the whole time.
Yeah.
Again, especially as the twist type stuff happens, it creates an interesting dynamic because all of a sudden we both got real quiet there at the end. So it was just interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that I think we made the game maybe a little bit more fun than it really was, meaning like we were cracking jokes the entire.
Yeah, that could be.
I
found it to be really funny.
Of rainbow jokes.
I found it to be really funny, but I don't think the game was actually funny at all. But we thought parts of it were very funny. Yeah.
It's like movies I used to watch when I was in high school with my group of guy friends. Bad movies, terrible movies.
Yeah.
For most of them, but we found the humor in them, and we would watch them over and over and make fun of them and just have a blast with them. Like Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
That movie was not very good, but we would make fun of it and we watched it all the time.
I would say if you're a fan of stuff like some of Arnold's movies, especially like post Terminator type movies, when he did like action movie after action movie after action movie, some of them straight to DVD type things, Collateral Damage or Escape Plan or some of these movies, Sylvester Stallone type films. If you thought Expendables was cheesy but fun, this is that kind of experience where it's just cheesy but fun. Some of the dialogue was eye-rolling worthy, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't flat out bad where we had to turn it off.
I think one of the cool parts was that it's just funny how the character I played is a lot like me, and the character you played was a lot like you.
Yeah.
And even how they reacted to the game was, I could see that's how you and I would be in real life.
Yeah.
So like exaggerated versions of us, but still very, very, very fun game. I think we did playing it together. I think who you play it with matters. But even if you were to play it with a stranger, I think the story holds up. I think the ending is pretty cool. I'm not going to say everybody will predict how it ends. So it does have a nice little twist to it. And even how it changes how you play the game, I, again, won't spoil it, by what happens, it actually changes how the two players play the game, and that's pretty cool too.
Yeah. Yep, overall, pretty good experience. I'm glad we finally finished it. I did delete it. I have no plans on replaying it.
No, it's not something I would ever play again.
Yeah.
So I deleted it right away and added it to my completed list, my first game for 2019.
Yeah. So that was on the first one on my list too. Another game that I finished, it was a very short game, like 5 hours long, maybe, was Severed. Kind of an interesting first-person type experience where you move through these corridors and you're facing off with monsters in a first-person perspective. And it's one of the first Switch games that I've used the touchscreen a ton. So there's lots of slicing and stuff going on. Actually, surprisingly fun and deep combat. I really did like it. So I recommend it if you can get it for cheap. It is on sale fairly often. and it's got a lot of style to it. But it is only about 5.5 hours long, and I did a lot of side stuff. Not all of it. There was more stuff to collect, but anyway, overall, pretty good. Not necessarily something that Derek I'd recommend for you, although I don't think you would hate it. And it's easy.
Your audio is really going. It's not distorted now. Now it's
No.
going up and down. It's acting weird.
That is weird. I wonder if my cord's bad. Hang on a sec.
Might be.
What about now?
You're fine now.
All right. Yeah, keep letting me know. If that happens, I might go look for another cord. I think I've got it somewhere. Anyway, I don't know how much that you heard, but I think Severed is a good game, not an amazing game. Maybe a little overhyped from those who loved it. I don't think you would hate it, Derek, but I'm also not sure you would love it either. I think it is kind of interesting, though. So the combat's actually surprisingly creative.
I got it in my Humble bundle. I actually, I didn't install it today, but I actually just added it to my Steam account today.
Oh, okay. Yeah, without the split screen, I'm not. I guess you could use a mouse for that. I'm not split screen without the touch screen. So I guess you'd use a mouse on it for the computer. I feel like the touch screen experience is the way to go if you can. But
got it.
All right. What else have you been playing? So for me, it's been A Way Out and Severed. Those are two that I finished. What about you?
Okay. The second game I completed in 2019. I won't talk too much about it because we talked about it a lot last year. But I finished my New Game Plus of God of War.
Yeah.
So I actually got to, I think, enjoy the game more. It did take me a long time. I literally played that game from April 20th all the way until January. I would just keep every month or so just log in and play it. And so I completed it twice, finishing it the second time this past probably a week and a half ago.
How deep into the bonus challenge stuff did you go?
I killed a couple of those Valkyrie bosses.
Those are pretty tough. Yeah.
I tried to unlock like a lot of stuff. I did some side missions, whereas the first time I was just focused on the story because I was struggling to get through the game and I just wanted to be relevant on our podcast. So I was like, oh, just play this dumb game.
Classic Teague, just desperate to be relevant.
Just desperate to be relevant. That's perfect. I set that one up. Beautiful. But yeah, so I definitely enjoyed it the second time more because I just played it to have fun. There was no like rush, like, oh, I gotta beat this game. It was just enjoy the game. And then as I got towards like a little past the middle, I was like, oh man, you're closer to the end than you realize. Let's just bang it out. And so I stopped doing side stuff. I would still try to get all the chests unlocked that I saw. So I definitely did way more in the second playthrough. Good game. I think I put it as my game of the year last year. It's sad that I can't even remember. That's how pathetic last year was. I think it was my game of the year. Yeah, that's my second game that I finished.
I also finished, speaking of games from last year that were some of the best, I finished Astrobot Rescue Mission, which is a PSVR exclusive. To me, it's one of those games that it is one of the good reasons out there to own a VR. It is a great experience. I loved it. I honestly thought it was right up there on par with some of the best of the 3D platform Mario games. Not nearly as in depth or as lengthy. Like Mario Odyssey is a massive game with tons to do and tons of stuff that you can continue to find and discover. Astrobot isn't nearly as big of a game. There's 5 worlds with I think 5 levels each. Each of those is pretty impressive, though. It looks good. The way that they use VR in there is really creative and it's very charming, like super, super adorable. And the boss fights are pretty fun. There's 6 main boss fights. None of it's very tough. I mean, you might die from a mistake or two, but for the most part, it's a very easy game. It's not super challenging, but it's still really good. It's only $40, brand new. I bet you could find it really cheap on different sales and stuff. So really, really like Astrobot quite a bit, and it was a great reason to put on the headset and play for more than just a little tech demo. It was actually a really fun start to finish game experience. I think Sony's got a really cool little family-friendly mascot there. They should double down on Astrobot and do more both VR and non-VR stuff with Astrobot. He's a great little mascot. So I like that.
I wonder if they will. I wonder if it's sold decent. I know it probably did good for like VR games, but I don't think VR really blew up.
Right.
So
I agree. Yeah, this one was one of those overlooked games, but I think it had more to do with the platform, not with customers' interest in the style of game. But anyway, it's a lot of fun. Lots of stuff to collect. It's a blast. Cute little game. Anything else you're playing that you want to highlight?
I do want to talk about Resident Evil 2 Remakes demo. I know it's not a full game or whatever. I did.
It's called like Second Shot or something like that.
One Shot.
One Shot.
So it's the One Shot demo, and basically it's a short demo, but you only have 30 minutes. So if you don't finish it and the clock runs out, it's your one shot. You're done. So anyways, we've talked about Resident Evil a lot on this show before. I told everybody about my history with that franchise and why I love it so much. There's a lot of nostalgia, like a lot of nights where I remember my brother and I either buying one of the Resident Evil games or renting it. Like we went through all of them, and then having a couple of my friends like David and Nate and Bryce come over, and we would just stay up all night and play the Resident Evil games. Resident Evil 2, I remember when it came out, I did not buy it. We rented it. And we did that. We rented it and we stayed up all night and beat that game. But that's the only time that I've played that game. So I have no other experience with Resident Evil 2. I just remember not liking it as much. This is going to be blasphemous for a lot of people. I did not like it as much as the original Resident Evil.
Yeah, because most fans of the series like 2, sometimes the best, right?
Oh, yeah. It's considered by a lot of people as the best Resident Evil game. So anyway, I don't have a lot of experience with it. I don't remember. Gosh, and now I'm like really orange. Hold on a second. Not that people watch our freaking show, but
just get that MAGA hat.
Get them out of here.
Don't pretend like you don't have one right there within arm's reach. Come on.
Oh, you know I do. Make America great again, people. Get them out of here. Anyway, so I played the demo on PS4, Xbox One X, and PC. So I played it 3 times. Actually, the third time I played it on PC, I actually unlocked more things. I unlocked the shotgun. I got to blow away some zombies with the shotgun and just unlocked some new stuff that I didn't do in the previous 2 demos. Game looks amazing on all 3 platforms. Keep in mind, again, I'm playing on PS4 Pro, Xbox One X, and PC, like a high-end PC. So all of my consoles and platforms are, well, they're above yours. So of course they look better. Point I'm trying to make is the game looks absolutely amazing. It plays amazing. Like this feels like Resident Evil 8's coming out. That's how excited I am for it, because I don't remember a lot about 2. I know I'll probably remember more than I think I remember. Like nostalgia will kick in, but I was having so much fun playing the game. It plays really smooth. The gunplay is good. It looks great. The voice acting's pretty well done. They've definitely upped it from the original. Everything is top notch, and I cannot wait. Like it comes out this Friday, so we're recording on a Monday, so it comes out in like 4 days since it's Monday night. And I'm actually excited because I'm supposed to get my stent taken out Friday, so I'm probably just going to take Friday off work, and I'm probably going to
jumping jacks for like an hour just because it feels okay now.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the stent removed and then play some Resident Evil 2 remake. But point is if you're on the fence, I think the game is gonna be amazing and you should buy it.
Well, try the demo. I mean, it's there.
Yeah,
go give it a try.
So,
yeah, you're right. Your consoles look better. You've got nicer screens and monitors. You're 2 years older than me, but look younger and better. But you know what? I don't have a wire coming out of my penis hole, so I win.
You win by default.
I win. All right. Current stuff I'm playing through right now is I've actually been diving back into Octopath Traveler, put a few more hours in that. This was a 3-day weekend for us, at least. I'm not sure about you. So I've been able to enjoy more time with my Switch, playing Octopath Traveler, really enjoy that, and playing some new Super Mario Bros. U, which just released on the Switch as well as a re-release from the Wii U. So I'm enjoying that, in addition to a whole bunch of other games here and there on the side. Only other one I want to highlight, because I know you'll be proud of me, is I have been playing some more Forza Horizon 4.
Yeah,
unlocking stuff is pretty fun. I tried Fortune Island just briefly, but I want to play that a little bit more. Some of the treasures you can hunt down and open up stuff like that. So thankfully, Derek, who game shares with me on the Xbox now, bought tons of bonus stuff. So I immediately have right out of the gate these incredible cars.
Oh
in
yeah,
the
that's what I
garage
was
to
gonna
choose from.
ask you is if you have access to what I've already unlocked.
I do, yeah.
Because I bought
it took
the
a little
$100
while.
version.
You have to get to just the first 5 or 6 little races and challenges, and then the garage unlocks for you, and you can go grab all the DLC cars and everything else. So
Yeah.
that has made it more fun for me as well, is grabbing the really super fast cars with amazing control and just zipping along the roads. And see, I think I'm in the winter season, I think. And also playing a little bit on Fortune Island. By the way, Fortune Island is the new DLC for Forza 4. Beautiful game, absolutely gorgeous, and just really fun to play. Once you get the feel for the cars and how to properly take corners, even now, I still mess up on the corners a lot. I have to rewind because I didn't take the curve quite right. But I'm getting more used to it, and it is fun. So if you've got an Xbox One X, especially, go grab that Forza Horizon 4. It is really fun.
Looks better on PC.
Yeah, I bet it does. So there's a whole bunch of other games that I've dipped my toes into a little bit, but I'll hold off on those until either I play more of them and have more to say, or maybe if I wrap them up. But that's all I'll share for right now. The big thing I'm doing now is Octopath Traveler. I forgot how much I had enjoyed it, got sidetracked by other games, and just picked this one back up, and it's just really, really fun. I'm working through chapter 2 for all 8 characters now, so it's a lot of fun.
Speaking of the Switch, since I hadn't played it in forever, I actually picked up Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Edition, digital copy of it, and I've been playing that. Not a lot, but I'll when I'm in the mood for the Switch, I'll jump on and play that.
All right, let's play some Mario Kart.
Yeah, that game looks great on my big screen. It does.
Yeah,
that one looks good.
Really pretty game. And by the way, I should say so is Super Mario Bros. U. New Super Mario Bros. U. That is.
I do want that. I had it on the Switch or on the Wii U. I do want to get it back. I'm just gonna wait for it to. That one, I know a lot of Nintendo games don't go on sale, but I've already seen it on Rakuten or whatever.com for $45. I know that.
Sale.
Yeah,
it'll
that
get
one
down
will
to at
drop.
least like a 40, 45 at least.
Yeah.
But that game's surprisingly good looking too. And so is the upcoming Yoshi game. That looks pretty good. Even though it's not usually my jam, that does look really good. So,
yep.
All right, let's talk about a little bit of news that's happened over the last month. Of course, Christmas.
Well, hold on. Let me because I want to talk about the main games I'm playing. I just did I won't go into them too long, but I did play Ni no Kuni 2.
That's right.
I remember when we talked about the top 10 and stuff, and we were doing the show with Dana Freitas. Neither one of us had anything nice to say about Ni no Kuni 2. My opinion has changed. I think that's a fun game. They do stuff that kind of turned me off, though. After I got about 3 hours in, they started doing this almost like RTS bull crap, and I was like, no,
why did they do that?
I was enjoying this. What the heck? I think I'm still going to play it, though. I think it's going to actually take over Dragon Quest XI whenever I'm in the mood for a JRPG, and not because I think it's a better game, only because I think it's a lot more fun to play.
Yeah.
I think Dragon Quest XI's cool, like turn-based, but I think
it's a little repetitive.
Ni no Kuni 2's combat is really fun. The main 2 games I want to talk about that I'm actually excited about is I'm at the end of AC Odyssey, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, so I should have that completed hopefully this week. Okay. So that would be my 3rd game.
Have you collected the 4 runes for the one guy?
I've done 1 of 3. I'm still doing the main story. I'm at the end of the main story. I
do those 4 runes. That's also kind of an ending.
Yeah, I do want to do that.
And by the way, earning those, the missions to earn those, just look them up because they don't guide you to them. You have to find them. Yeah. And so I stumbled around and kind of stumbled upon them. But just for your sake, to save yourself time, just look up where to go to initiate those quests. Those are pretty fun. They do a good job with those.
That's what I'm going to do because I got to say, maybe it's just my patience for video gaming now, but AC Odyssey, the reason I won't rank it higher than Origins is I feel like it has too many missions that are like, do this 27 times and then come back to me and we'll move forward with the story. And it's like, come on, guys. Like, I had to kill the cultists, I think, first I had to kill him 5 times, then 7 times, then 9 times.
Those are
And
side quests, though.
yeah, but it's still like to upgrade your character and to move forward. I want to move forward in that part of the game as well. And then, but that's just one example. There's actual quests like that are main quests where they'll be like, you got to earn my trust, so go kill these 4 champions. And it's like, oh my gosh, like seriously, you already know who I am. I beat your ass up earlier.
Oh,
Like,
have you gotten to the island that has the arena yet?
Yeah,
Have you done arena fighting yet? That's kind of fun too.
yeah.
All right,
Because I
so
had to take out one of the dudes for
for a mission.
yeah.
Right. All right. So I feel like there are a lot of those repetitive ones, but maybe I'm misremembering it. I feel like a lot of those were very optional. And once I kind of got the feeling for, oh, you're just going to have me go kill 4 of the whatever the super strong guys, not captains, but whatever they're called from these fortresses. I see what you're making me do. And so I stopped doing some of the repetitive side stuff. But
Yeah.
I can't remember the mainline missions doing much of that. But yeah, I guess any open world
Maybe
game
towards the end.
it can fall into that trap, right? When they've got so many different mission types, I could see them falling into that trap a little bit of repetitiveness. Do you feel like you're losing steam to actually get to the end of it, or no, you're going to push through and wrap it up?
Well, I lost steam probably 2 months ago. I should have beat this game like 2 months ago. I had today off, and instead of playing the other game I'm going to talk about, I decided like, hey, you need to try to finish Assassin's Creed Odyssey, figure out where you're at. And I looked it up in a walkthrough. It looks like for the main story, and I'm not talking about the 4, beast things, the main story with like your family or whatever, it looks like I have like 3 or 4 maybe short missions left. Like
Okay,
I already
got it.
fought my,
Yep.
I won't finish the statement. But so
And
I don't think,
I think that was the primary
yeah.
like battle, and I think the rest of it is kind of just story related things to wrap it up.
Yeah, so that's what I had left. I was actually going to do that tonight, but I ended up getting sidetracked and doing other stuff. But the other game I want to talk about that I'm excited to talk about is Red Dead Redemption 2. And my prediction, I think, came true. I said it at the Game of the Year podcast. I said over and over, I'm not going to knock this game even though I don't like it. Like, I knock it online all the time. Anytime somebody talks good about it, I'm like, it's trash. It's trash. It's trash. Anybody that likes it's stupid. I like it. I'm at the end of chapter 2. And yes, I still have my complaints about how slow it is. I don't care. You can try to justify it and say it's intentional. I don't care. I'm not an idiot.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Like,
mean
great,
I have to
they
like
meant
it.
to do it, and I hate what they meant to do.
Exactly. Like, I get it. That's their goal. Doesn't mean I'm like, oh, well, it's because it's your goal. I like it.
You know what it is? It's not so much that I became okay, like that I started to enjoy the slow pacing. Just like any other game, you get used to it. You adjust to it, and you just kind of get accustomed to this is how movement works. This is how opening a door works. These are some of the quirks that come along with that.
Yeah.
Like I think we talked about how you could accidentally shoulder bash through a door that you're just trying to walk through because you just hit the little light jog button or whatever.
Yeah.
So there's little quirks that happen here and there, but you do certainly get adjusted to it. And it sounds like even though you're playing a very fast-paced, as far as movement goes, Assassin's Creed game, in a very slow-paced Red Dead game, I'm glad to hear that you can enjoy them both.
Well, and hopefully Red Dead doesn't fall into Assassin's Creed, but I think maybe part of why I'm enjoying Red Dead a little bit more is I do think I'm coming down, like I'm getting back into gaming, which you've talked about the last few months, but it's also, I think, my frustration with some of what I said about Assassin's Creed, where I'm like, okay, seriously, I feel like the story should have already played out by now, and you're stretching it out with these missions. I'm hoping Red Dead's not like that. So far, it hasn't been like that. I feel like everything is just to build up our camp and all that stuff, but it's still moving forward.
Yeah.
I don't feel like, hey, go fetch these 9 things so we can do this mission. I think, one mission where I had to do, like, go get this for this main mission, but guess what? That was a mission. So it like said, hey, you completed this. Here's your experience or whatever you get. And then you start the next mission. So it wasn't like do this 4 times, then you can end the mission.
I think you will really like the way that the story goes in Red Dead Redemption 2. I think you'll
Funny
like it.
thing, though, I skip all the cutscenes.
Yeah, no, I get that, but I think
I have no idea what's going on. I just don't care.
You kind of know that you're a cowboy outlaw gang trying to survive. I mean, that's really all. That's the main gist of it at the beginning. But it gets kind of complex a
As soon
little
as they
later,
start talking, I'm like, yeah, I don't care.
especially as you get towards the end of chapter 4, and then chapter 5 is just kind of like, whoa, what are they doing with this game? And then it has a really strong epilogue as well. I recommend playing the epilogue part as well. But I'm glad to hear
I
you're enjoying it.
will. I mean, I plan to. We'll see. You know, there's a lot coming on. Like, I'm real excited about Resident Evil 2. And then 4 days later, you got Kingdom Hearts 3, which I'm excited to at least try it out. I don't know if I'll get locked in on it or anything, but I'm just happy that I'm finally
Man,
like
Kingdom Hearts is
playing
coming
it.
soon. Yeah.
Yeah, everything is we're about ready to get hit. And I
Yeah.
think that's why I was like, oh, just finish Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I'm not rushing through Red Dead because I'm aware it's, 60-hour game. So I'm just playing it to have fun. If I don't beat it, I don't beat it. I'll just do what I did with the other Red Dead, and that's come back 10 years later and beat it. But I did want to just clarify that what I said is coming true. I played this weekend probably about 5 or 6 hours, which isn't a lot for a lot of people. It's a lot for me, and I was like, okay, I'm enjoying this. I like this.
Nice. Well, good. I'm glad to hear that because those were definitely not Ni no Kuni 2, but the other two are two of my favorites from last year. So I'm glad to hear that you are not giving up on them. It's funny when you enjoy a game enough, it's almost as enjoyable sometimes to hear others enjoying it and as well. And I think that's why a lot of us, and we're all guilty of this in different ways, we all get kind of defensive at times if someone doesn't like a game that or a movie or a TV show that we truly loved. And it's hard not to get a little defensive at that because these things mean a lot to it.
I think that's true, but I also think it's because sometimes the reasonings are always, I shouldn't say sometimes and then say always, but sometimes the reasonings behind people are it's just dumb.
Yeah.
Like they'll just be like, I hate this game because of this reason. And it's like, that doesn't even make sense. Like you're playing the game wrong. Like you're legit stupid. So that's when I used to get mad, was because I would be like, you guys are dumb. Like you're trying to play a stealth game all action, or you're trying to play an action game stealthy and then getting mad because it's not designed that way.
Right. Yep. I agree with that.
Let me go get a drink real quick so you can just talk to yourself.
Okay. Sounds good. So the orange man is going to get a drink of water. Actually, I don't know if he drinks water. It's pretty orange. I wonder if all he drinks is carrot juice. Maybe that's why he's got, what's that called? The serotonin. You know what? I'm making up words now because I have no one to bounce my ideas off of. So it's just me. It's just me. Oh, quick Netflix recommendation. Just started Punisher. I'm in episode 2. Pretty interesting so far. I'm sad that Netflix is dropping all their Marvel shows, but I'm excited to wrap up Punisher. And I did finish Daredevil season 3 over Christmas as well. Also, fantastic show. And Black Mirror. Some great episodes as well. So he's back with his carrot juice. Let's see. Let's see if he's drinking carrot juice or what. No, he doesn't want to talk to me. He's sitting there. Oh, there he is. All right. He's back. All right. So just finished talking about all the different ways that you've had an impact on my life.
I'm sure it's been great. Sure, your wife loves me too.
Both of our families just love the time and attention we give to each other instead of them. That's what it comes down to. That's yeah. All right, a couple of headlines that are worth noting. Bungie and Activision have officially split. Bungie's keeping the Destiny IP, but boy, oh boy, it sounds like that was not a pretty situation. So Destiny 2, their future content and updates could be affected. And of course, whatever Destiny 3 ends up being will not involve Activision. That could be good, could be bad.
I think that'll be good. I know people have like a negative, and I'm one of them. I'm not a big Activision fan. I'm not a hater. I don't jump on the hate wagon that people jump on with all these big corporations like EA and all them. But I do think this Bungie's big enough to be on their own.
Yeah.
And I imagine the reason why they would want to split from Activision is probably because Activision was probably trying to control things. Like they were probably micromanaging them. Like your player count has dropped by 100 players in the last hour. what are you gonna do to fix it?
in the last hour.
Like I could see them being nags like that. Like, hey guys, what are you guys doing to fix this? And so Bungie's probably like, hey, why don't y'all shut up? And we're just gonna go on our own, so we don't have to answer to some idiot who's in a suit that doesn't care about our actual game.
Well, part of me leans that way too. You know, Activision and EA and these big companies are easy to villainize and all this, but I think when I see that this is now the second large company that Bungie has split with, I start to wonder, is it these companies or is it Bungie that's kind of, boring around a little bit?
I think it's the same thing. Like, I think Microsoft wanted to, first of all, Microsoft's, I don't know how they're successful. They've made so many mistakes. I know they do good things, but they've made so many mistakes. And I think Bungie was a mistake because they were like, you're tied to Halo. You do nothing else. And they're like, but we want to do Destiny. So could you imagine if Destiny, it probably wouldn't be as big as it is now, but if it was a Xbox exclusive, I think it would have done amazing things for Microsoft. So I think their problem was they didn't like that they didn't have freedom to branch out outside of Halo with Microsoft. Activision is probably, again, I'm just guessing. I haven't read anything. I didn't even read the original article. I don't care. But I would imagine it's something along the lines of Activision probably micromanaging, like, hey, because all I hear about is how player count is dropping in Destiny 2 and people are not happy and blah, blah, blah.
It's been out for 2 years, right?
Yeah, but they're trying to keep this alive. Like
year and a half, whatever.
Yeah, they want to keep players interested at all times. Like,
Sure.
I can admit that Destiny 2 to me is easily better than Destiny 1, but I probably doubled or tripled my playtime in Destiny 3 or Destiny 1, and I played Destiny 2 a lot.
Yeah.
But I've just gotten where I've tired of playing Destiny. Like, I want to do something else.
Yeah, it's probably less to do with the game itself and more to do with you. Although I will say, Destiny 2, as great of a game as it is, and I stand by that, really, really fun game. It's not that big of a departure from Destiny 1. So when I've played Destiny 2, as far as the gameplay, the experience, it feels very similar. And so Destiny 1
does it better.
New, and it just does everything. Yes, it does everything better, but it is just more Destiny. And so I can see why people burn out on it a lot quicker than Destiny 1 too. So I totally get it, but it'll be interesting to see how that unfolds. What happens with Destiny 2 and all its upcoming content, what happens with Destiny 3 and other projects that Bungie wants to work on remains to be seen. There was some data mining efforts that, I mean, if we think we're nerdy, imagine those who sit around and try to mine the internet for extra data on their favorite video game companies.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Next level. But they may, assuming that this is accurate, they may have spoiled Nintendo's surprise plans to bring Super Nintendo games to the Switch online service. A lot of the games that are included are also on the SNES Classic, as well as a few others. You can feel free to go look up that story if you're interested to see. But it is interesting. Oh, excuse me. It is interesting to see that that Nintendo's considering adding to that Switch Online service, which, by the way, they either need to add games at a much more rapid pace or start adding new consoles, because there's not a lot of value in Nintendo Switch Online at the moment, in my opinion.
No, I haven't even explored it all. I don't even know what's out.
It's just basically the NES games, and then you can play games online. There's not much to it. Celeste is adding some free DLC sometime this. They were hoping to hit their anniversary, which is this week, but they're going to miss it. But they're going to be adding some new, incredibly difficult levels.
Can we talk about? I know I'm cutting you off, but I don't care. It's Celeste. Nobody
That's
gives
all there
a
is
shit
to it.
about
Celeste new content's coming out for free.
Well, can we talk about like a super exciting announcement? Like, you didn't even write it down. This is how big of a jerk you are. How are you not excited about Mortal Kombat 11? Like,
it's on our list of
Mortal Kombat 11.
We are going to go through a quick preview of the year of games that we have announced dates for. That's one of them, you baby. Okay? We're going to get to it.
I'm angry right now.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey has some updates this month that includes some new content, I assume. I don't know all the details there. But one of the much requested features that people have been asking for is the enemy scaling feature. So right now, if you go from area to area, enemies scale along with your level. They're going to change that to give you the ability to control that. You can either leave it the way it is. You can change it to heavy, which I think is pretty much the way it is. All enemies remain at or near your level. Normal. Heavy is even harder. Normal is a level or two below you, which I think is current. Light means they're all 2 levels below your level, and very light, which they're about 4 levels below you, which makes everything much, much easier. So they're essentially adding some difficulty tiering to AC. And I'm sure people will still be upset. Like, I want them to be level 13 forever. Like, all right, I see what you're saying, but that's not the way the game works. I really like the way that AC Odyssey does that. I actually wish that Octopath Traveler did a little bit more of that, because now I'm in a point in Octopath Traveler where I'm looking for areas that are equivalent level, that are not too difficult, because I'm getting wiped in some areas, but not too easy where I'm barely getting any XP. And so I'm kind of back to that JRPG grind where I got to find that sweet spot, that area that I can grind for XP. So anyway,
to me, Odyssey is such a huge game, and they even have they'll show you an island or whatever on the map, and they'll say levels 36 through 38.
Right.
So why would you scale all enemies? So if I go to a level 16 area that was part of the early part of the story, but I go back there, I should be fighting level 16 enemies. Like, I don't like that it scales. I think if you go back to an area that you explored early on in the game was scripted that way to go through there, and you should be at a level 15 or 16, and you're now a 42, I think choice is good, but I think the game should have been designed like, oh, if you're going back to that area, they stay that way. Like, you should be fine fighting them and destroying them in one shot. I like feeling like I'm getting OP, but also, obviously, you wouldn't want to be like where the level caps at 40 and you're at 40 and all enemies are 25 and below. Like,
right.
You would have different areas that are high, and then you have areas that are low. And I think with a game like Odyssey, it's so big that you can do that. You can have 20 areas that are high-level enemies, and you can have 15 areas that are low-level and 5 that are
even when you go back to those early levels, even though the guys now have more HP and hit harder, closer to guys on your level, they're still incredibly easy to defeat, because now you've got a ton more moves, you've got really powerful weapons, you can still take them down as if they're very low level. I see what you're saying. It's a good point. But I've never experienced, in my time with AC Odyssey, did not experience a moment where I thought, boy, I wish they were like grayed out because they're so weak compared to me. Like I didn't mind that Spartan soldiers or Athenian soldiers, whatever, they all kind of stayed close to a skill level that could give you a bit of a fight. So
I know. I get what you're saying. For me personally, I find it annoying that, like, I'll be looking at the mission list and it'll say, should be level 34.
Yeah.
And then I level up to 38 and it moves up to 38. And
I feel like that's just level minimums at this point. So
it is. It's
like
just dumb that it
islands and
scales
stuff.
up. I'm like, no, what if I wanted to get OP before I do that mission?
Yeah.
You're not letting me do that. You're saying every time you move up, this mission moves up with you. I'm like, no, that's stupid.
Where it was a little unbalanced was when I started feeling really adventurous and started just exploring and unlocking fast travel points on islands that I didn't need to go to yet. I was about halfway through the game, and I just started sailing around and finding new places. And I found a handful that everything was way higher level than me. I couldn't even see the number because they were too high of a level for me. So that I didn't like. I thought if you're going to scale the game, then scale it all the way through. That was my one takeaway from it. But anyway, some updates coming this month for those of you who have an opinion on that. And also, Sony is hitting a milestone of over 91 million PlayStation 4s sold. Seems like this year or early next, they should surpass the Wii, which I think is at 103 million, something like that. So PS4 is up in the upper echelons of consoles in terms of overall sales. Really, really impressive stuff.
It is a very good console.
They've just absolutely knocked it out of the park this time around. That does include PS4 Pros, keep that in mind. But the Xbox One sales do include sales of the S and the X. And I think
do we have numbers on that?
We don't, but we know they haven't quite hit 40 million yet. I think they're in the 30s, perhaps. We're not sure.
That's crazy. I wouldn't have thought. Like, I knew PlayStation was blowing them out, but I wouldn't have thought they would be over doubling them. Almost.
I mean, those are the predictions. They could be wrong, but the predictions that I've read, because I looked that up, of course, right after this news, and they're pretty confident they're at about 40% of where Sony is. So
That's
they're less
crazy.
than half. And then Nintendo has done really well in their first. They're coming up on their 2-year anniversary here in a couple months, and they're right in the mid-20s. I think maybe low to mid-20 millions. So
That's awesome. I'm really
Nintendo-
happy for Nintendo though.
Nintendo Switch is doing really well, which is great. All right, so I wanted to wrap up our show this week and really make the main chunk of our time. I know we talked already for a while about games we played, but I forgot how fun it can be to talk to even someone like Derek about video games. So, but I wanted to give us a preview of 2019. Listen, 2017 was epic. 2018, a little more divisive for some folks. They didn't like it. Some thought it was okay. Folks like me, we overhype everything, so we thought it was amazing. But 2019 has a real promising look to it, but also really unique.
So.
Has some unique titles that are coming out too, so it should be interesting. So I'm going to go through our list. We've got some release dates that really go through March, and then once you get to April, they start to become more sparse. We have yet to hear announcements of specific release dates for a lot of stuff, but January, February, March are absolutely packed, so let's just jump right into it. Here's some games that are already out as of right now. As of this recording, today is the 21st, right?
Yeah.
21st. So as of the 21st of January, these games are already out. Fitness Boxing for the Nintendo Switch. The Hitman HD Enhanced Collection, which includes Blood Money and Absolution in HD for the PS4 and Xbox One. Mario and Luigi Bowser Inside Story plus Bowser Jr.'s Journey on the 3DS. New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe came out on the Switch. Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition came out across everything. Onimusha Warlords came out to everything, which is a remake of the original Onimusha game. The Walking Dead, the final season, episode 3, dropped for every console. This game called Vane, which I still don't know much about, came out on PS4. I believe it's a indie exclusive for the PS4 called Vane. And then this one kind of intrigues me. It's called Yik, a postmodern RPG that's out on every platform now too. Ace Combat 7 came out for PS4 and Xbox One, and one of our friends in the group, I want to say it was Jose, someone said, hey, the VR version of this is supposedly really, really great. So that'd be interesting to see. And then the big Nintendo Switch exclusive of January is Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes is out. It's a more of a budget title because I think it's a little more of a collection of mini games and retro style games, the way that the game is structured, but I haven't tried it myself. But it's only $40, I believe. That is out now. And so that's what's out up to this point. Now, starting tomorrow, we're going to start to get a lot more releases happening almost every day, it seems like. So on the 22nd, we get The Raven remastered. It's an adventure game. Episode 2 of Life is Strange 2 comes out. I actually am halfway through episode 1. I just started that recently too. And that comes out for PC, PS4, Xbox One. A couple other games that I don't know what they are. My Memory of Us and Penguin Wars. Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy is a THQ game. They're bringing a bunch of their games to the Switch. Those all come out later this month. Resident Evil 2, as Derek mentioned, drops on January 25th. And you're getting it on PC, I assume?
Yeah, I got it for $40.
That's where it's going to be prettiest. Is on the PC. Also PS4, Xbox One. Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out 4 days later on the PS4 and Xbox One. I know some folks have been waiting for that since they were in middle school, and so that's going to be exciting for fans of the series. And then January will be wrapped up. So a pretty solid January.
Yeah.
Nothing really exciting. The one that I was most excited about and is out now is the re-release of the new Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe game. So what about for you? I imagine it's Resident Evil 2.
It's definitely Resident Evil 2, but I am kind of excited for Kingdom Hearts 3. Like, I just want to see if it'll hook me like Final Fantasy 15 did. I mean, I ended up absolutely adoring Final Fantasy 15. So I'm kind of hoping that's what I get with Kingdom Hearts. I'm not saying they're going to play exactly the same. I'm just hoping that it'll hook me that way, like as far as gameplay.
It sure looks pretty. That's for sure. It looks.
Yep, I got it on the Xbox One X, so we'll see.
All right, then February rolls around. There's some smaller releases and re-releases and things like that, but here are some of the main games that are dropping in February. And if I'm missing anything, I apologize. God Eater 3 drops on PS4 and PC on February 8th. Trials Rising, that's one that I'm very excited about. This is the new entry to the Trials motorcycle kind of physics-based game, kind of a dirt bike motorcycle game that comes out on February 12th. To Switch, PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Hang on a sec. What?
Can we listen to that?
I will get it set up for you as soon as I'm done. Okay. Thank you. Close it all the way, Thad. Thanks, buddy. All right, I have kids. You guys know that? I have kids.
Yeah.
So that's February 12th. That's going to be a good Switch game, I think. That's one that I kind of want to play on the go, sit on the couch, or even in bed before I go to sleep. Here we go with the big games. This is what Derek was talking about. We're about to get plastered with games. Crackdown 3,
I'm excited.
Far Cry New Dawn, Jump Force, and Metro Exodus all drop the day after Valentine's Day. So spend Valentine's Day with your loved one. Show them all the love in the world. Give them all your time and attention, because the day after that, they're not going to see you for a little while if you are into gaming. Crackdown 3, Far Cry New Dawn, and Metro Exodus specifically, and of course Jump Force for those who are excited for that one. There's a lot to play. And then the next week after that, we've got Anthem, followed by Dirt Rally 2.0, Left Alive, and then a new Lego Movie 2 video game comes out for all platforms. So in February, what are you most hyped for?
It's got to be Anthem. And I'm excited about Crackdown 3, Far Cry, Metro. But Anthem is, I don't know. I think it has the potential to hook me even more than Destiny.
Okay.
It's to me, it's Mass Effect Andromeda with that loop of Destiny, and that excites my pants.
As it should, I guess.
With a wire in it.
I do think that Anthem is going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. But my most hyped game of February has got to be Far Cry New Dawn. It just looks like a lot of fun. And
Are you buying Metro, or do you want me to get it?
I haven't decided yet, because I never did play the first ones. I think I played a little bit of the very original Metro, and that was it. So all I know is that
you're probably just gonna play Crackdown through whatever thing, Game Pass.
Yeah.
I don't do Game Pass, so I'm gonna end up getting Crackdown 3 just because I want to have it digital so I can play it on PC and Xbox One X.
Yeah.
I like that they give you both, so I'm definitely gonna get Crackdown 3, and I know you already bought Far Cry, and I bought Anthem. So if you're not gonna get Metro, just let me know, and I'll buy it too.
Okay. I'll have to think about that one. I'll have to figure out if I need to catch up on all the original games.
I think I'm going to say, unless you're going to watch a YouTube video, you do, because this is a trilogy, and it's based off their books, and the story does matter.
It looks gorgeous, though. I remember the reveal for this game. I was like, whoa,
the first Metro is ugly. The second one definitely improved graphically, but I like the stories. And this one looks like it's going to be amazing.
All right, and then we roll into March when we've got I don't know who asked for this, but Toe Jam and Earl Back in the Groove is coming. That was never a good game. Yes, it was an old game from the 90s, but no one liked it. And then Derek's Bread and Butter, Dead or Alive 6 drops.
Boom,
apparently, they're even going to have some creepy photo mode. I don't know.
Are you serious?
I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know.
I'm pre-ordering that junk.
Oh my gosh.
Like, I love Jesus and everything, and I'm changing, but I still love women. I still love them.
Especially digital ones, you creeper.
Yes.
Total War 3 Kingdoms comes out to PC. I thought it was worth mentioning because the Total War franchise is a pretty major strategy franchise on the computer. Devil May Cry 5 comes out on March 8th. I tried the demo. Probably not for me, but I know a lot of folks are excited about that one. Kirby's Extra Epic Yarn drops on 3DS. I believe that was a Wii game originally. So if you need more Kirby on your 3DS, that's coming out. Let me skip through some of these that don't matter. March 15th, that's when we have The Division 2, assuming it doesn't get delayed, comes out on PC, PS4, Xbox One. I thought the deep dive into Division 2 a couple of E3s ago, I think it was a couple of E3s ago, looked really interesting. And the stuff that they changed and have added to the game, I'm actually getting a little bit excited for The Division 2. I think it's going to be good. But will it be as good as Sekiro Shadows Die Twice? I know you're excited for that one. That one looks really intriguing.
Yeah. I can't wait.
Yeah,
I was watching some gameplay and I was like, holy crap. This is like amazing looking.
And then Tropico 6 was supposed to come out this month, but they delayed it to add some extra polish to it. So right now it is slated for March 29th. We'll have to wait and see if that sticks. And then we get yet another Nintendo Switch exclusive for 2019, and that is Yoshi's Crafted World, which I gotta say looks absolutely gorgeous. It looks really pretty. And apparently some of the gameplay things that they've added in with the way stuff is kind of built and crafted together is actually quite creative. So I'm looking forward to that one, actually. I think Yoshi looks like a really fun game. All right, April is starting to get packed out a little bit more as more and more release dates are unveiled. Again, I might be a little bit behind the times. There might be some that I'm missing, but here's what I know of so far. Super Dragon Ball Heroes World Mission, I believe, is a card game coming to the Switch and computer. Shovel Knight King of Cards and also a Shovel Knight multiplayer game called Showdown are both slated to drop on April 9th. It's been a long time coming, so King of Cards better deliver. On April 16th, if you've got a Switch and want you some Final Fantasy X and X-2 HD Remaster on the go, you can have it. You can have both of those games, and I believe they might even be selling them separately if you don't want to buy them together, which is interesting. So you can get that remaster on the Switch on the 16th, and then 1 week later, it's a really big day. For those of you who are fans of Mortal Kombat 11 drops on the Switch, PC, PS4, and Xbox One. So if you want the best of the best looking and running version, grab it on the PC or maybe on the X. If you want it where most people will be playing it, probably grab it on the PS4. And if you want it on the go, grab it on the Switch. Pretty cool decision, I think.
I'm probably going to own 3 copies of this.
I
Probably
would not be
PC, One X, and Nintendo Switch.
I would not be surprised. I will be curious after this comes out for you to give us a recap on which one does it play best on. Is the Switch version actually, meaningful and all that kind of stuff? So that'll be interesting. And that same day, Derek, you might finally win me over to try this game. Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen comes out on the Nintendo Switch.
I really think you'll like it. I mean, I don't know. It got some flack for some of the decisions it made as far as fast traveling. But if you play the game the way it was, again, we can talk about this, how we talked about Red Dead Redemption 2. They made it slow. Yeah. This game isn't slow. It plays fast. But the whole point is not to beat the story. You can beat the story, but the whole point is to explore the world, to go on a journey. It almost feels like Lord of the Rings. You're just setting out on this journey with your crew. And
you told me that the combat's pretty fun in this game too, right?
Oh, it's super fun. It might be a little dated now because you got to remember this is an Xbox 360 game, but it's every time I go back and play, I'm like, I just love it. I love everything.
Well, and this is the reworked version. This is the Dark Arisen version. So it's going to be, I think visually, it's probably going to, I hope it holds up on the Switch and runs well. So I'm looking forward to that.
It'll look good. It'll look good on the Switch, and it'll have the fast travel fix, all that stuff. They made modifications since the release.
And now that they've put Dragon's Dogma essentially on everything, it makes you wonder, does that mean Dragon's Dogma 2 is in the works? Who knows?
I would hope. I know they chose to do some mobile thing or whatever, but
yeah,
I hope we get a real one.
So that's April 23rd, a pretty busy day. 3 days after that, we finally have the release, I think, unless they delay it, of Days Gone on PS4. At this point, my hype is gone, but we'll see if that game actually ends up delivering as well. So
I don't know if I have faith that it's going to be a really good PlayStation exclusive. I have a feeling it's going to be one of those kind of like The Order 1886. I loved it.
Yeah.
But it got bashed pretty bad. And I have a feeling this is going to be one of those.
It has the look of an open world zombie post-apocalyptic survival type game.
I just don't trust it's going to have the polish.
Yeah, will it be good? Will it be more like your God of War, that high quality, or will it be more like your State of Decay 2, So we'll have to wait and see. It looks better than State of Decay 2, don't get me wrong, but we'll see.
Yeah, it definitely looks better. But...
And to close out the month on April 30th, we will get Final Fantasy XII, The Zodiac Age on the Switch as well. So if you have some catching up to do on Final Fantasy games, they are putting these games out. And I believe they've already announced that 7 and 9, I don't know about 8, are definitely coming to the Switch sometime this year as well. So Square is definitely giving Nintendo some love this go around, which is cool. As a big fan of those games, I'm excited to see them coming to the Switch. A couple other games to mention. Dauntless is coming out sometime in April, I believe. That's an interesting one. It's a big monster hunter style multiplayer game. It looks really interesting. That's supposed to come out in April as well as Super Meat Boy Forever. Which once I found out that was an endless runner, my interest in it kind of died down a little bit. So we'll see what how that game turns out. Rage 2 comes out on May 14th, moving into the later months of the first half of the year. Rage 2 drops. That one looks really, really cool. Go check out the trailers for that if you haven't yet. I'm excited for that, as well as Team Sonic Racing and Crash Team Racing. So Team Sonic comes out in May on the 21st, and Crash Racing comes out on June 21st.
The Sonic Racing games are really good if you've never played them.
They're
really good.
They're
like Mario Kart level of quality.
Cool. A couple other games. Phoenix Point, don't know what that is. Shenmue 3 is slated right now for August 27th, at least as of when I put these notes together. So we'll see if that holds for Shenmue 3. And there are a ton of other games that either don't have an official title or don't have a release date that we won't dive into at the moment for the sake of time, and because who knows, these might never come out or might come out in 2020 or whatever, or later. But there are a lot of other games that have been announced for 2019. And
all right, so let me ask you this, because I know we were kind of doing it by month.
Yeah.
But through all the games we just covered through, essentially August.
Yeah.
What's the top one that you want?
Let's go back to March. We did skip March. For me, the most hyped one for March is probably the Division 2.
Okay.
What would it be for you?
It's Sekiro.
Okay, that's From Software, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then for the kind of April through the end of the year, since it's
Mortal Kombat 11. No doubt. I'm so hyped for that.
Without a doubt. I'm going to go with, I know it's kind of weird because I already picked a first-person post-apocalyptic game as the most hyped game, but I'm going to say Rage 2. I think that one looks like a blast. The only other one that would come close to it would be, I am excited to finally play Dragon's Dogma on the Switch. Those two I'm pretty hyped for. And as far as the rest of the year goes, if you just glance through that list, is there anything that jumps out at you as something that you are excited to dive into without going through the whole list?
Oh, you're talking about the ones that are to be announced?
Yeah, the things that are just kind of on the TBA. No date has been given to them yet. I'll go ahead and throw mine in there. I think I'm most hyped for the new Fire Emblem game, Three Houses. I think that's the one. Assuming it does drop this year, I'm pretty hyped for that game. So that's the first one that pops out to my eyes. What about you?
I would go with either Ori or Gears 5.
Yeah, Ori and the Will of the Wisps. I am excited for that one too. Do you think Gears 5 drops this fall? Do you think it happens?
I do. I really do think they've been talking about it. So they're like, if they weren't talking about it at all, I would be like, no. But I saw some like video like coming in 2019, and it was a Microsoft video. Like they were talking about Gears 5. So they're obviously really planning. I think they really want to have a big year this year. I think they know the last couple of years have been borderline trash. So I think they're finally dropping Crackdown 3. I think Ori will come out. Gears 5 will come out. And I think they're going to have some stuff up their sleeves that we don't know about that's going to drop too.
That'd be great. That'd be great. Give us a new Fable game. Give us something that's not just like, don't give us one of those Nintendo Metroid Prime 4 teasers. Don't do that.
Here's what we can end the show on this. Here's what I still don't understand about Microsoft. How can you watch PlayStation's success and go, okay, it isn't because they have the most powerful console. It isn't just because we had a terrible E3. That is a big part of it. I've always argued that. But it's because they've consistently put out good third-person action RPGs, action shooters. They are story-driven, and they're exclusive to their console.
It's immersive experience after immersive experience.
And I don't understand how Microsoft has not taken out a notepad and gone, they hit this point, they hit this. Oh, we're going to create a game like this. I don't even care if you mirror it. How do you not make your own like Uncharted type game? How do you not make your own Horizon Zero Dawn? Like there's no way you don't have the talent to create those type of experiences.
I agree. I think something like Recore, for example, should have been one of those, but of course it came out and it felt and played
but it's not Microsoft doing it. Like they keep like signing off on these other companies to create exclusive titles for them, but they're never like exclusive forever. They're not their studios, so it's not their babies. Like Halo's only coming to their console.
Gears, right?
Yeah, and they do a good job with those games, but then everything else they're like, oh, we'll go buy Sunset Overdrive. We'll go buy Rise of the Tomb Raider for a year. We'll go buy, all these other, and it's like, no, create your studios, create your IPs. So we identify those IPs with your consoles and vice versa, and want us to play on your consoles. I don't understand why they don't do that, but that's just me.
I'm with you. But, Microsoft has been so accustomed as a company to winning and just about everything that it does. Even when they're losing, they operate like someone who's way ahead. It's just really interesting to watch the way that they behave. I actually just listened to a podcast series. I think I've talked about this before. They did a series on this show called Business Wars. There was a 6-part series on the browsers. So it's like Internet Explorer versus Netscape was the primary war, but there were others involved as well. And Microsoft, of course, being the primary developer of Internet Explorer, it was just interesting to hear the way they even approached stuff in the 90s, moving into the 2000s. I mean, there was a lot of ego and arrogance involved, and I think to this day still is in some ways. So don't get me wrong, I love Phil Spencer. I think he's awesome, and I think they're going in a good direction. But boy, 2019, they better start delivering some stuff, in my opinion. So,
Agreed.
All right, well, that does it for episode 153. Thank you guys for listening in as Derek and I catch up and nerd out a little bit, or a lot bit, whatever it is. And that's pretty much all I've got to say for now. I'm just going to leave it to Derek. You've got 10 seconds to give us something to start the year with. Give us some good wisdom to start our years with.
Well, I think 2019 is going to be a better year overall, not just for gaming, just for everything in general. So I'm going to be that nerd that believes that 2019 is going to be my year.
If you believe it, it'll happen.
And like 5 days into the year, I find out I'm losing my job.
I don't know if you guys can tell, but Derek has neither leg now either. He's lost both legs. It's been a good year so far.
Yeah, I'm like, 2018 was a little rough. So 2019's got to be better.
Yeah.
And 5 days in, oh, by the way, you're off getting fired.
It's all right. Just come work in Colorado already.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for talking, man. Appreciate it. Chat with you later.
All right. Good night.
Who is your daddy?
I am the father. You fathers will understand.
My father taught me many things here.
I got an idea. How about you all sit there quietly while I make dad noises?